Okay, hey, what's up, you guys? I'm back after a very, very long time of not actually making any videos lately, and I want to actually start this off by doing another Redstone Basics. I know I did one back in, I think, 1.7, but there's been a few changes and a few new things that I've learned, and I just wanted to kind of share them. So, and one thing, if you kind of hear something in the background, that's my friend watching a movie right now, so whatever. But anyway, let's get started. First thing is redstone you find from redstone ore, which looks like this. Like that. I am actually using a texture pack, so I'll go ahead and change it that way I could see it in regular default Minecraft. Done. This is what it looks like in regular Minecraft. So it can be mined with either a iron or diamond pick, and it drops it drops multiple pieces of redstone dust. I think anywhere between like 4 to 8 pieces. So that's how that works. This here is the redstone dust. And as you can see, whenever you place it, it goes down and it can create a line, and it will connect to any other pieces of redstone that are directly next to it. Redstone can also climb up blocks like this, and it is only allowed to span up to 15 blocks before you will need. It can only go 15 blocks, as you can see here. This is the last block before you would need either a repeater or an inverter. Now, if I were to actually put it there, you can see it doesn't work. But since I have a repeater there, it would work. So, and I'll get into more detail of these later on. Now, I want to first go into things that can be powered, such as this. Iron things such as this, I'll go into a little bit more over there. But, iron doors are only allowed to be opened by redstone. No matter how much you click, they can only be opened through either a lever as a constant pulse or a quick pulse like this. Wooden doors, on the other hand, can be opened with redstone, as you can see, or you can also open them by hand by right clicking on them. Two other things that can be opened with redstone include trapdoors, which can be opened by hand, along with the fence gates, which have the same property, and they pretty much act like wooden doors except in different shapes. So it's pretty much that. Next, I'm going to clear my inventory really quick and go into these items here. I'll just pull some of the first few items that can actually be powered and place them down for you. First, regular rails can be powered, but only if you have them set up like this, and if you send power to them. I'll just hurry up and demonstrate it here. If you send power to them, they should change. See, they will change with a redstone current to them. So that's something kind of interesting. Redstone lamps can be powered, but you can also put torches on the four sides and the top of them, along with redstone can be placed along the top. And when powered, they turn on and emit starting at a light level of 15 and going out each block. So I actually kind of like these as a lamp source. Now, TNT, obviously, is either ignited through redstone or through fire, but since this is a redstone tutorial, I'll use redstone. And TNT, a quick property of that, it has a 5-block radius for the explosion. As I've already showed you, iron doors, wooden doors can be powered to open or close. Now, the redstone torch is a little bit different. Redstone torches will emit power if directly connected, but if placed on top of a block, such as over here, if I were to actually place one here and then power this redstone, it would depower the torch and acts as an inverter, which I will go into detail right over here as soon as I'm done with this. Repeaters. They're very interesting because not only will they extend the redstone current another 15 blocks, but they can also delay the tick. So as you can see here, on its default setting, powered, it has a 1 tick delay, which is the same as if you would use a inverter. But on the second setting, it will delay it 2 ticks. Third setting, 3 ticks. And final setting, 4 ticks. And you can put those into combinations for different timings. Another thing that can be powered is a note block. Now, note blocks, as you know, emit a sound, a certain sound set by you. Either by, well, if you're not in creative mode, it doesn't destroy it, but if you're in regular mode and you left click it, it will play the note, or if it's powered by redstone. So that's how that works. And it's also variable by the block that's underneath it, such as if I have, say, a wooden block underneath it, it would make a different sound. I don't know if this, no, that's different, but it does make a different sound depending on which block is underneath it. And that's all for this. Clear my inventory, go back to the chest, and I will actually pull out the rest of the items here and get this and this. And now, powered rails. Powered rails are very useful because they will speed you up on a minecart as long as they are powered. If I am correct, they will go 7 blocks before you will have to place another torch. So it's a good idea to conserve torches and stuff by placing a single torch, going 7 blocks in this direction, place another one, and then another 7 blocks and go over here, and it conserves your torches a little bit. Now, as I've already told you, trap doors, which I'm going to place one here, they can be powered by redstone, and fence gates can be powered by redstone, as I've already showed you. Both the sticky piston and the regular piston here are both items that can be powered. They will, when powered, extend any block besides bedrock and obsidian and some other few blocks up to 12 blocks away from it before it cannot push any further. Now, it will be powered. It can extend when power is received from any block around it. So from this side, this side, this side, or below it. If it receives power, it will power and extend. So it's very useful in that. The difference between the two is this one will just push it but not pull it back, and a sticky piston is made, you make the piston and then you put a piston with a slime ball on top and you get a sticky piston. And whenever it's powered, if you have a block on top of it and it extends, it will also retract the block back to where you placed it before. The next thing is a dispenser. A dispenser will dispense any item that you put in it through a redstone pulse. And you can tell whenever it's empty by the different sound it makes. And that's pretty much it for powered items. If I missed any, I'm sorry. I'm not really sure. I tried to double check to make sure I didn't miss anything. And now we're going to go over a few simple gates. And we'll go into a little bit of the more complicated stuff here really quick. This here is an inverter, and it does exactly what it says. It simply inverts the power, so whenever this gets turned on, that redstone line will turn off and retract the piston, as you see. Next is this right here, which is pretty much the same thing as this, except it's the opposite. It follows whatever power your input is. So those two are similar. Next, you have a AND gate, which is really good for like making hidden doors and stuff for custom apps and stuff. And this will only receive power if both of the torches have been activated, and if one of them is deactivated, nothing. If both of them are deactivated, nothing will happen. If one of them is deactivated, again, nothing will happen, but that torch will flip. If both of them are deactivated, this torch will turn on, sending power to that. Next is the NAND gate, which is pretty much the opposite of this. If both of the levers are flipped down, it will stop receiving power. If one lever is on, it will send power. So there's applications for actually both of these. So it's a little bit extra stuff there. This is a RS NOR latch or a memory switch. They have 3 different designs, and each one is a little bit different in some way, although they work all the same. But each one you could use for different applications. This one is the regular, or what I would say the most common, since it was like one of the first ones that I've seen created. But how it works is whenever you send power to this, it depowers this torch, which allows this torch to turn on, which sends power to this block, which will then force this torch to stay off, and then you can just pull the power from here. So whenever you flip this, it will turn on like that, and there you go. And then if you hit the other button or switch, it will switch back. This one is the same thing, except it's a little bit of a different design. You hit this one, you hit that one, and it will change it. And then if you hit this one, it'll change it back. So this one here is pretty much the same thing as that one, except it's a little bit smaller, as the redstone is up here on top of the block instead of it being on the side of it like that. The next thing that I'm going to show you is called a bud switch, which stands for a block update detector. Okay, so basically whenever there's any block on either side of this piston here, it will send a redstone pulse through this. And the reason it works is because anytime a piston is powered diagonal and a block is placed next to it, it causes an update making this piston powered, and will extend it, and it will pulse it on either side of it, as you see, and also on this underside. Will work both ways. Next is pretty much the same thing, except it holds the signal. This is something called a bud flop, and it's pretty much the same thing, except it's powered diagonal from the back. Now this, whenever a block placement will power the piston, and the block removal will depower the piston. for this design, I'm actually going to hurry up and build this quick little circuit here. And this is actually called something called a T flip-flop, which takes a redstone pulse and turns it in, and you could use either this or this. I'll actually use one of each just to kind of show you. And it is mainly used for, it's pretty much a different way. It's a different type of RS NOR latch, except this one uses pistons. And then you'll place a block here, put redstone there as the input, and you'll just pull the redstone out because this block will be there. Whenever you press this button, it will switch the position of the block and you can pull redstone out from it. And then if you hit this, it will depower it. And pretty much it works the same way in here, except where it gets the pulse from, lag, it gets the pulse from the bud switch, which is connected here. And as you see, it is switched depending on if it's a placement or a block removal. So, it's pretty much the same thing as this, except I actually think that one's a little bit bigger. So, depending on what you want to use. The final thing I kind of want to show you out, which this is the only design that I actually know how to build, but there's actually one that's a lot smaller than this, and I'd actually would rather use it, but I don't exactly know how to build it, and I couldn't find anything online. So I decided I was just going to build this one for you. And this is something called a monostable circuit. And it will basically, it turns a button pulse into a one tick pulse. And this is really good, say for a piston door, because in a piston door, if a piston receives a one tick pulse, a sticky piston receives a one tick pulse, it won't pull the block back down, and that's because that's how Mojang fixed the bug where in 1.7 you could duplicate items like that. And as you can see, the one tick pulse causes the piston to extend and retract but not be able to pull that block back until you press the button again. And so this is actually a fairly decent idea to have if you're actually using a using this for a piston door. So pretty much that is pretty much everything I want to share you guys in this video. Some of the stuff that I've learned and know from using Redstone, and I guess that's it. So I'll see y'all guys later. So see ya.